And this was my first attempt with UPSC. And in December 2021, my mother had got diagnosed to fourth stage breast cancer, and last 2 years were extremely difficult for her, for us, and for me and my sister. I lost my father way back in 2015 when I was in 11th, and a month before the final results were out in March, I lost Ma as well. So it was extremely emotionally daunting process for us, and she had been the biggest uh, pillar of strength for all of us. And I'm very happy that because of her, I'm being able to carry the legacy of both of my parents, both my father and mother. So my
Welcome everyone to Rayacademy IAS, respected Sri Animesh Pradhan, my dear faculty colleagues, and my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. Today it is an important day for all of us. With us, Sri Animesh Pradhan is here to share his journey, and we hope that all of you inspire and get something best out of it. I was just having a brief discussion with Animesh sir. The mission of this organization, Mission 100, from Odisha, if I can share the statistics, less than 0.67% is the success rate in the UPSC civil service exam, less than 0.67%. It is a sorry state. If you look at the statistics and compare with other states like Delhi, Rajasthan, Bihar, we have talented students. We have students coming from humble background, yet they dream for big things. Then a small question, why to settle down for small dreams? If you want to achieve big dreams like civil service in UPSC or Odisha civil service, we do have a lack of support system in Odisha, that I personally think. The people who can motivate, who can guide, and who can show the path, what can be done to achieve that success. And the fight is not only to achieve that success. The getting into the IAS or IPS or OS or any of the civil service is not the end. It is just the means to achieve something. If you look at the developmental figures, I'm sure this is an election time, I don't want to make any political statistical data, but we all acknowledge that Odisha is filled with potentials. If it is nurtured properly, all the talents we have, natural resources, we can become number one state. Of course, government is trying to do everything, be it central government or the state government. As a member of the society, we also have the duties towards the state, duty towards our country. So what duty we can perform? As my duty is to guide the students, Animesh is here to give you the inspiration. So all of you have the duty to take this state to next new height. And there is a saying, with power comes responsibility. So do not fear to hold that power. You have the ability, you have the chance, you have to get it. And to get it, you have to self-will, irrespective of all the odds. I do not want to get into the details, but those who know the story of Animesh, his odds are, I feel, that has made him strong to crack these examinations. So we have to resilient, perseverance, patience is what will drive towards the success. I understand you have been waiting for quite some time, and I will not take much of your time. So, may I kindly request Sri Animesh sir, please address the students. As I told that this is an interaction,
Okay.
so do not feel that it is a one way of talk. If you have any kind of question, let Animesh sir share his journey. Definitely you will be getting ample amount of time to ask your questions. Prepare your questions. Do not think that what sir will think my question is silly, or it will be there is no question silly, or there is no question difficult, or there is no question simple. If it comes to your mind and if it wants to be resolved, then shoot it us. We'll be happy to answer if we can. Right? Please, sir.
So hello everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank sir and the entire team of Rayacademy for giving me this opportunity to come here and interact with the aspirant community here at Odisha. It's my heartfelt gratitude to the entire team for giving me this opportunity to share my gratitude and happiness here as well. I was aware about the institute way back as well, and I'm aware about such wonderful and tremendous job that the academy has been doing, and we'll keep this very interactive. I mean, if somebody is preparing especially for UPSC, then a lot of my strategy videos are already there online, where I have given my entire journey and everything. I'll just brief about my background so that you get a context to it. So as Vishakha ma'am mentioned, I was born and brought up in Talche, Rangul. Just one correction, I had studied from LKG to 12 from a school called DV Public School, MCL Kalinga area, not KV. And then directly I moved on to NIT Rourkela, where I did my BTech in Computer Science Engineering, and I graduated in 2021. And through campus, I was inducted to Indian Oil Corporation and still working with Indian Oil as Information Systems Officer posted in Delhi. I have not resigned yet, and throughout the preparation I was working. I had not taken any extended leaves for preparation per se, and this was my first attempt with UPSC, and sociology was my optional, and I'm immensely grateful that I was able to do this in the first go. A lot of people are instrumental, my mother being the most one. As sir mentioned, like when I started my preparation just a couple of months back, in December 2021, my mother had got diagnosed to fourth stage breast cancer, and last 2 years were extremely difficult for her, for us, and for me and my sister. I lost my father way back in 2015 when I was in 11th. And a month before the final results were out in March, I lost Ma as well. So it was extremely emotionally daunting process for us, and she had been the biggest pillar of strength for all of us. And I'm very happy that because of her, I'm being able to carry the legacy of both of my parents, both my father and mother. So the idea would be the same, that the preparation, whatever exams you're preparing, be it OPSC or UPSC, it's not a very fun process. After a point, it gets very lonely, it gets very boring, and you have to go through a lot of sacrifices, both on personal and professional front. And almost every alternate day, it feels to give up in this examination, because it's easier to give up than to keep the momentum high. But always remember that why did you start in the first place? And if that intent of your starting and that reason of joining civil services is strong, the probability of you sailing through becomes higher. And secondly, you require a very strong support system, is what I feel. Apart from my sister and my mother, I had a small friend circle of school who had helped me emotionally a lot to sail through a lot of adversities for last 2 years especially. So apart from the preparation, I'm pretty sure if you're enrolled here, as I was told, and I know a dear friend of mine, Animesh Pradhan, who's currently in Odisha Administrative Services, speaks very highly of sir and the institute as well. So I'm pretty aware about that you are in safe hands. But as you said, in spite of whatever academic guidance you get, it's very important to have a support system in place. because those people will help you to lift up on those days when you like to give up and you'll feel like there's no life beyond this. So that would be my 2 cents of my advice to the examination. We'll keep it interactive. If you have any specific doubts for the preparation or anything around UPSC or any subject-wise doubts or anything around it, I'll be more than happy to help.
Please ask if you have any question. Do not hesitate, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I was at the other side of the table 2 months back, so I understand the feelings and everything. I was an aspirant 2 months back only, so do not hesitate. I mean, there's nothing silly, as something as silly as which pen did I write is also a very valid question, which I would have Googled that what pen do I use in mains, which seems very trivial, but is a valid question. So yeah.
So what was your approach to the UPSC Prelims 2023? Because recently the UPSC has changed its pattern and the question patterns are a bit database and fact-based. So how can we tackle those questions and what should be the approach?
So, I mean, obviously this was new to me, it was a surprise to me in the 2023 paper as well. It was kind of different as to 2022, but the approach was to be ready for surprises. Because if you see from 2020, 21, 22, the paper was evolving. So one was accept that there will be surprises. There will be surprises in 2024 as well. UPSC is always one step ahead than any coaching institute, wherever it is present. It will always have something to surprise in the examination. So first that, and so do not get disheartened or do not get nervous while you are giving the paper, because it's equally uncertain for everybody. So that's the one certainty, that it's equally certain or equally uncertain for everybody. So it's a level playing field. So do not get nervous on the examination hall. And second is make your static portion very strong. I mean, when you're saying it's becoming a lot fact-based or very random questions coming up, those are random for everybody. At the end of it, it's a competitive exam. The competition is not to get 200 in prelims. The competition is to qualify the cutoff. So you cannot miss those questions which everybody is doing right. So all those static portions which still people are doing right and which are from standard resources or current affairs or which are solvable, that you cannot go wrong with. But secondly, what I feel is that in real exams also, previous years also, you would not know most of the answers. On a good day in prelims, you may please sit down. On a random good day, 35 max or 40 questions you would know. After that, the next 50 questions that you attempt or so would be something which will use your educated guess. And that guess is not random. That is how you would have practiced through test series and everything. So that skill also helps. Answering MCQs is a skill, I believe. So I was thorough with the test series and everything. So that helped to tackle those random questions as well. And third, I think prelims now is UPSC is making you not just study for from any particular source, but want you to be a more aware citizen in general. So I'd share examples. There was a question last year on National Handloom Day. August 7 is celebrated National Handloom Day because so and so. There was a question on that. I knew that the answer of it because my mother's birthday is on August 7, which is National Handloom Day, and I read it is National Handloom Day because so and so forth. Not because from any random source. I read it from some random source, not for UPSC. But I knew that fact because I was just aware, I was just curious. There was one question I was able to do because I had seen some Netflix documentary. I had solved something I had seen from an Instagram Reels. So just be curious. Things around you. And I feel prelims is evolving into a way that it's testing how aware you are as a citizen and not just having this 10 standard resources and read it and then you'll be able to qualify. That does not mean that you just keep on reading everything, but be more do not keep yourself cut off from everything and be more aware as a citizen will also help in longer run for UPSC in particular, I would say.
Yes, please. And those who are जो माने ओडिया रे पचरा पे चाहू चंदे से माने ओडिया रे पचरे पारे
हां हम ओडिया रे भी कहि परिबी फ्लुएंटली
सर लास्ट 2023 यूपीएससी प्रिलिम्स में से एबे जेते तार रिजल्ट आसिला तार देखि से टाइम रे मोर एते सिलेबस कंप्लीट हे नथिला जीएसटा सैटिस्फैक्टरी मार्क थिला एमि ठीक ठाक थिला बट सी सेट रे बहुत खराब हिसाब रे फेल हेछि तो 2024 में ओ सी सेट रे जो चेंज हो जाइछि तार जो क्वेश्चन रो हार्डनेस ता तो 2024 में केमि के अप्रोच रखि आ डेली बेसिस रे कि तार मोर ड्यूरिंग प्रिपरेशन रे ताकि केते वेट हेछि तार से किछि
अपन को बैकग्राउंड कौन एकेडमी बैकग्राउंड को
आर्ट्स
Okay.
आर्ट्स इंग्लिश
correct please sit down so one good thing so CSAT very important is a mental blockage rakhiba ki suppose I'm coming from engineering background I'll do only maths or if I'm coming from humanities English background I'll do only comprehension that's wrong movie engineering background and I was very overconfident ki khali maths I'll be able to qualify but on the D-day I was not able to do maths properly प्रथम 15-20 मिनट पर I was able to round only 3 maths question and then I understood कि आज I'll have to change to comprehension which I had not done in any of the tests previously. The state of first कि that could be कि 2024 एमिति की पारे the maths would be extremely easy and comprehension would be difficult and then अपन भावे कि मु खाली comprehension नहीं करी भी maths छुई भी नहीं करना maths बहुत difficult so don't go with that mindset first like whatever your background is reasoning maths and comprehension equal importance देवा दरकार and second is कि CSAT पे मु जेहेतु निजे किछि भल से पढ़ी नथली because I was confident कि maths general maths PYQs करिथिली मु 5-6 वर्षर and I was qualifying comfortably तो मु किछि dedicated नहीं नथली there were free resources where I had seen just formula numbered system things like that clock timing formula I had seen but I not practiced a lot but if I'm thankful कि मतलब दबाव पड़ी बनी prelims but जदी मते preparation एबे कहक पड़े then I would take up a dedicated course if you're having a free course or a paid course in a structured way जदी अपन की मिलुछन जे पढोचे CSAT पे is what I would say because CSAT also सितिक important GS पे ही जाइछि but that's why GS scores have come down to 75 the cutoff so I would say कि एमती नहीं कि अपन माने time obviously take कम दवा पड़े GS पे but give like 4-5 months dedicatedly give do at least some time देखरी go through the syllabus practice more that is because becoming extremely important.
Yes please.
First of all sir congratulations sir ये एग्जाम का हमें जानते हैं बहुत लॉन्ग टर्म सर अपन निजे को सेल्फ मोटिवेटेड केमती रखले थ्रू आउट द ईयर और सर अपन को वाई फैक्टर टा कौन था
Which factor?
वाई
अच्छा okay.
So I as a person am very self motivated so I mean there were days when लागू था कि why I'm preparing because I used to Indian Oil itself as a job it was extremely fulfilling the pay was good the posting was good my team was wonderful so it used to feel like why am I even doing this life I can just settle down and more importantly I had other things back at home which were more challenging for me for especially that 2 years the fire within me was my mother because when it was diagnosed in December 2021 we knew it's in stage 4 so we knew the prognosis was poor and we did not have a lot of time so that was my immediate fire ki jitna lagu tha ki I'll give up is like I'll have to read because I have to do it as soon as possible so that she will be able to see the results so that was the immediate fire but the why was always built up from childhood days I was always very clear from class 5-6 in school ki I want to become an IAS officer and I used to feel ki if I do not give that intense preparation for 1 year then I'll somehow betray my childhood or betray my dream so this exam requires 1 and 2 years of dedicated very intense preparation then the exam is uncertain you can never be certain about the results but in my opinion it requires those 2 years of very intense preparation and then if you do not make through then what's happened is preparation becomes easier you do not have to put settiki efforts तो जेतेबेले लागू थिला मते कि मु गिव अप करते लाइक कि ए वर्षटा भल से पढ़ी दे जदी भी न हैला देन योर मटेरियल्स आर रेडी रिवीजन इज रेडी योर थरो बस लक साथ दबनी बट योर हार्ड वर्क विल बी डन राइट सो वी नेक्स्ट अटेम्प्ट माय हार्ड वर्क एते दवा को पड़ीबनी सो आई हैव टू जस्ट वर्क जदी एनीवे आई एम स्टडीिंग एनीवे आई एम मेकिंग सैक्रिफाइसेस तो मे बी मु सैक्रिफाइस भल से करबी भल से पढ़ी बट वन गो So that was the point. ये पढ़ी वाला अच्छे तो भल से पढ़े रहे थे, पढ़ी वाला नहीं बिल्कुल पढ़ी वाला नहीं. So that was how I was keeping myself self-motivated.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, please.
सर आपण जदि किसी सब्जेक्ट वीक रहउतला जदि कि सब सब्जेक्ट समस्या कंटेंट नथे जे स्ट्रांग नथे तो आपण वीक सब्जेक्ट गुडा केमति कवर अप करतले त आपण स्ट्रेटजी कोन फॉलो
तमरो वीक सब्जेक्ट कोटा इकोनॉमिक अच्छा ठीक है.
Same for me, economy and geography. The subject was I was weak at. So for that I had used a lot of internet because I was not enrolled in any online or offline coaching classes per se. Always associated with a lot of institutes for test series and mentorship, but not for classroom, online or offline. So for me, major content I used to see from online videos on YouTube or say. जो topic टा बुझी आसु था, I used to ensure कि I do not make them pile up कि परे करी then there only, but also like I used to keep my phone and everything away just to note down कि ये concept बुझी था. I'll make a list of 10 things जो बुझी आसला नहीं, and then सेटा I used to search on YouTube and read. There's one more thing, the end part I did also can use ChatGPT for that, freely available. You can just type in and let's say for example you do not know in economy what is debentures. So ask explain what are debentures as if I'm 5 years old, as if I'm 10 years old. So then that will explain you in a very simplified way as well. So I used to, from multiple random sources, I used to Google when I was not able to find that. And sometimes also like, for example, a lot of people would say कि modern history read spectrum, which I had also followed. But बहुत बड़े दिन से I was not able to comprehend मन ही रोना था. So there's no one Bible की एया ही पढ़ी रही. If you're not understanding what a chapter from a book, which is highly recommended book, look after other sources. I used to see a lot of animated videos for peasant movements in India, tribal movements in India, because what a body की मन ही रोना था. So you can be innovative with your sources also, but एमती नहीं कि चार्टा जाकर मैं tribal movements पढ़ती. Spectrum में बुझे आसते नहीं, I used to go and see an animated video. So you can do that where you're not finding like from a base material based source. So बुझे आसते नहीं, go and search on YouTube and see 1-2 videos.
Hello sir. Sir, can we revise करने last 3 month की 4 month can we revise करने
So last 3-4 months में especially if I say कि what are to prepare for mains or prelims, मैं सब दिन सारे note बनाऊँगी. So I had my 1-pager notes mains में topic wise I had made, but exam ra saved was also in a crisp manner, like सब topic in 1 page for mains. And but just for example prelims also, when I had read let's say Lakshmikant Pancha Chaudhara, then prelims ra Tinimaspur had made a short notes of 10 page of Lakshmikant. ओनली से दिन सोटा को जोटा कि मैं जानी कि मैं भूली जीवी या फिर एग्जाम रे गोटे दिन पूर्व दरकार पड़िया पढ़िया पे यार बहुत ट्रिकी से दिन सोटा मन रखिबा. सो आई यूज्ड टू मेक दीज नोट्स एंड देन से नोट रो भी नोट बनोती जोटा कि एग्जाम रे सप्ताह दिन पढ़िया अछि. सो बिकॉज एग्जाम पूर्व दिन या फिर गोटे सप्ताह रे हैव टू रिवाइज एवरीथिंग एंड सेतोल को से वेरी शॉर्ट निज नोट बनेबा इज वेरी एसेंशियल. सो आई यूज्ड टू डू दैट कि मैं नोट बने ताकि आई जस्ट glance through सब topics रे जो दिन सोटा को जोटा मु जानि कि मते दरकार पड़िबो रिवीजन ना कि सब दिन सेल्फ बनोतले. आउ गोटे सेकंड दिन इज लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल हिस्ट्री एंशिएंट और मेडिवल वाज एक्सट्रीमली डिफिकल्ट टू मेमोराइज. सो व्हाट आई यूज्ड टू डू इज कि I had my notes, so I used to while I was revising I used to put my audio recorder on phone ro and I used to say this I'm studying Delhi Sultanate, so Delhi Sultanate पढुछि त just loudly I'm studying that ताकि that gets recorded. And जब मैं ऑफिस जाऊथली चाली करी या फिर I'm having my breakfast, I used to listen to that. So you'll have to be also innovative in ways in which you can find कि जो दिन से अपन को suit करिवो, you can try things like that. Yeah.
So main specific कितने chapters रहेगा, कितने आर्ट ऑफ राइटिंग में कितने रहेगा, अपन हम उधर mains लेके ना हम जो 3-4 टास्क हम बोलस लेके दे, तो आप 3-4 टाइम छाड़ दे लास्ट में.
So, please pause. More strategy was कि every 10 marker question GS रे 7 minutes and 15 marker is 11 minutes. से चाहे question जते भलो आसी था हो जते खराब आसी था हो, every question 7 minute दबार अच्छे 11 minute, be it 10 marker 15 marker. So that was my strategy कि जेमिति I'll not leave गोटे भी question. So all papers, all GS, all optional मु सबू लिखिची till पूरा last page जाके. Obviously quality differ करे जो दिन से वड़ा को बहुत भल से जानी थी छोटा बहुत भल से आंसर दी थी जोड़ा जानी थी but I had filled papers. So and that should be strategy अपन आंसर बिल्कुल भी छाड़न जोड़ा अपन को लागु ची अपन भले से आंसर करी चंदी एग्जामिनर को से न लगी पारे अपन जोड़ा भाबु चंदी अपन भले से आंसर करना हंदी एग्जामिनर को लगी पारे अपन करी चंदी सफिशिएंटली बोली सो अपन जज नुहंदी अपन का परफॉर्मेंस रो तो सेमिति किछि भी छाड़ंतनी भाबी कि अच्छा एटा तो बहुत भल से लिख दीची एटा न लिखले चलिबो तो यू हैव टू राइट सब जिनस में सेम अपन टाइम मैनेजमेंट दियंतु कि गोटे क्वेश्चन में केते मिनिट लिखले हबो सेति मिनिट अपन सब क्वेश्चन पे दियंतु माने डिपेंडिंग ऑन 10 मार्कर और 15 मार्कर आउ मो पई माय मेंस रो स्ट्रेटजी वाज कि मु टॉपिक वाइज सिलेबस रो नोट्स निजर बनौथली फ्रॉम करंट अफेयर्स मैगजीन माने स्टार्टिंग रु ही तो आई हैड नोट्स टॉपिक वाइज एंड मो नोट्स वाज इन मोर और लेस इन अ वे कि सेटा आंसर फॉर्मेट रे थिबो फॉर एग्जांपल देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन ऑन रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी तो रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी आई नो कि मो आंसर तो लिखी भी आई स्टार्ट विथ अ डेटा और अ फैक्ट और फिगर तो मो नोट्स से भी चारटा डेटा रू भी स्टार्ट होतला देयर विल बी तापर देयर वुड बी इफ देयर इज अ डायग्राम द साइड ऑफ द डायग्राम एंड दिस पॉइंट की व्हाट इज द स्टेटस ऑफ रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी जस्ट इन पॉइंट हाउ यू राइट इन आंसर आल्सो कि जस्ट पॉइंट लिखल एंड देन वन लाइन एक्सप्लेनेशन challenges तो 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 10 एमती नहीं कि मु 5 पेज रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी विषय पढ़ी चल बिकॉज at the end of the day UPSC will have only either 3 page for 15 marker or 10 marker पे 2 page तो अपन एते पढ़ी करी लिखिबे कोटे अपन 7 मिनट 11 मिनट अछि केते लिखिबे अपन 11 मिनट रे सो मोर से मेंस रो नोट्स आंसर फॉर्मेट रे होतला सेइतरे 1 लाइन रहउतला सेइतरे डेटा फिगर्स एग्जांपल केस स्टडी सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजमेंट आर्टिकल्स कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट सब गोटे जगह टॉपिक वाइज एमती बनौथि ताकि सबकॉन्शियसली मो माइंड आंसर फॉर्मेट रे मन रखू ताकि क्वेश्चन देखू मैंने फर्स्ट जेमिति जो डेटा पॉइंट अच्छे से टाइम स्टार्टिंग लिखे बिकॉज एग्जाम हॉल रे भाबिया को टाइम नहीं यू हैव टू इंटरनलाइज अपन को नोट्स और रिवीजन सेमिति होबा दरकार जेमिति अपन आंसर डायरेक्टली लिखिबे
So firstly, I want to give congratulations to you for this achievement. Really, we are very proud of you being an Odia. So I just want to ask this short question.
don't be
After IAS. So I just want to ask how to maintain consistency in our study as it has a vast syllabus. How to cover this?
so please sit down so first it's the planning is important ki apno I had an Excel sheet where I used to mark ki aji if it's April, May, June. So what would be I'll complete in April, what should be completed in May. So I had a 6-month, 8-month plan in ready. So when you are planned, then you procrastinate also less. You know ki acha matlab complete karibar achi. So it was clear how my next 3, 6, 8 months would look like. And for week also I had my weekly plan ki week re kon mo complete karibe. So that used to push me to be consistent. And second is like I had a friend whom I used to text कि आज ही मु AI पढ़ी and then I रात्रि सोए पर कि अच्छा इतरू 5 टाइम्स रू 4टा पढ़ी पाली so is accountable to somebody. So if you have somebody to be accountable to, a friend circle or a teacher or a mentor, then just type it down कि आज ही 5 टाइम्स ये 5टा केटा तो back of mind रे आस्तला माने एबे बस ए दिन से मु जानने आउ जन भी जानू छी कि मु केते पढ़िली. So that is also one of the things that I tried. या फिर निजे लिखुतली मार्क करूतली कि आज ही 5 टाइम्स से पढ़े से 4टा पढ़ली so 80% have completed what I was decided. So I used to keep an Excel sheet कि आज ही केते percentage पढ़ली as I had decided, and I used to draw graphs and see कि then जब भल्ला उतला graph was increasing देखिए भल्ला उतला. So that used to give the dopamine कि I'm on the right track, and if not then I'll have to improve. So you'll have to keep yourself accountable either by yourself or by outside, and that's how consistency will build up. And secondly, give regular tests as well. I was sharing with sir as well. I think one thing which has helped me is I started writing answers from week 1 when I started preparation in February 2022 till December 2022 for 11 months. Every Sunday I used to write half-length test based on that week's current affairs. So it's not like कि प्रथम सप्ताह जति माने obviously start कर जाना नहीं बहुत दिन सा but मते खाली से weekly current affairs रु जहाँ पढ़ुतली ता ऊपर half length test 1.5 घंटा test दवा पढ़ुतला. So I had content जहाँ पढ़िली से तो दबार अच्छी but week 1 रे मोर answer writing a test दवा practice थिला and consistently I used to give right answers. 50 half length test I had given for 11 months and I think that would have helped. तो से निजर मार्क्स देखी कि केमती इंप्रूव होचे एंड ऑल योर फर्स्ट टेस्ट विल बी द वर्स्ट टेस्ट बिकॉज बहुत दिन से अपन जाना नहीं नॉट विल टू कोरिलेट थिंग्स बट एज सून एज यू विल इंप्रूव यू विल गो थ्रू योर मार्क्स एंड योर सेल्फ सैटिस्फैक्शन विल आल्सो इंप्रूव से टेस्ट रे सो राइटिंग आंसर्स और समथिंग एंड गेटिंग इट इवैल्यूएटेड एंड गेटिंग मार्क्स ऐसे मार्क्स मैटर करेनी टू बी ऑनेस्ट बिकॉज just to have something that is scoring quantity in an objective way used to give me satisfaction. Acha theek hai, this is one thing I can adhere to. So say discipline got a pattern thila that used to keep me consistent.
See here Animesh has said couple of important things that now you started preparation February 2022.
Yes, and prelims was in May 2023.
Yes. Now many of the students, what happens, if they think that, for example, now UPSC exam is there, so they may not be fully prepared, but anyhow they give the exam for the sake of satisfaction.
Correct.
Is it a good approach, or what would be the optimal thing to do it?
So for me it's the other way around. You decide when you will give and then you like from a backward way make a strategy. It's not like I'll complete it and then I'll give it. If you go by that logic, you'll never be able to give the exam because nobody completes entirely because I mean everybody goes through everything but it always feels inadequate कि किछ ना किछ तो पहुंचे चाहिए. And same mentality से if you give then you'll always be very complacent. You'll not give that fire will not be in the optimum way. So I had to had this अच्छा I knew कि I'll have to give in 2023. So from that I'll backstart and कि last 4 months will be prelims जाके December मासरे कौन हबो केते मास ता पूर्वरु मु sociology पढिथिबी केते मास test series पे केते जिवो. So I sat down for a week in February and I had made a yearly plan. से plans रे बहुत changes आसिला मझरे but I had a broad map तो थिला मो पाखरे कि कोटा केमिति को test series केबे join करिबी कोन पढिबी. That I was very thorough with my plan. तो first decide and then prepare ना कि prepare and decide because in later case you'll never be able to give justice.
Yeah, and another thing what happens in majority of the students, especially the beginners, so let's say they give the weekly test or let's say they have given the civil service prelims exam and they are not able to qualify for some reasons, then they give up. So and I have seen many students who quit study. So how to motivate after having a drastic failure? That kind of mindset, how to develop it?
I mean, I can probably say 2-3 things, but that might not be authentic because I'm just fortunate that I did not have to face that situation. But if you come across that situation, but I was mentally prepared that I'll give 3 attempts to this examination, and if after 3 attempts things do not fall into place, then I had a plan B in mind. But the thing is that this exam is extremely uncertain. So 1 attempt, 2 attempts, you might not be, but in third attempt you might score rank 1. Every year there's a story. The rank 1 this year I did this in third attempt. Previous year Rishita Kishore did not qualify prelims twice, and third attempt she became rank 1. And everybody, like people have qualified in their 6th attempt, in their first attempt. So if you feel like you're not doing this, understand like why you do not want to. Is there a financial issue at hand, or do you want to take up a job? If you think that with a job you'll be able to prepare better, so do that. But again, take a break and think that why did you start? And honestly, the hard work is worth it. The success, after you get success, everything changes for good. So and then grand scheme of things, you feel that if you're signed up for this exam, you feel that acha 2-3 वर्ष जिब्बा भारी, but your life is for 70-80 years. In that comparison, 3-4 years is a very small thing. And if you're signing up for the exam, mentally prepare कि it might take a bit longer time. It's just matter of luck. I'm extremely lucky to have done this in one attempt, but it might take longer time, and come with that mindset that ठीक है यदि प्रथम है नहीं then I'll do it. But while you're prepare को first attempt try करिए. It's not like कि a attempt answer question देखिए आप and second attempt more real attempt. No, your first attempt should be your best attempt. But if यदि हो नहीं, you need to think that that's the most common thing to happen. अपना exception नुहंती. If you clear it in first attempt, you will be extremely lucky and an outlier. But if you're not clearing it in first attempt, then it's just extremely normal for happen. And maybe good things एमिति भी हुए कि for example somebody would have qualified prelims and he's not very mains prepared. Then say mains वाल से पढ़ नहीं, and then next year prelims by mains he has not improved and he gets stuck in that loop. So maybe if you're not clearing prelims in the first attempt, it's a blessing in disguise. So you'll get 1 year again to prepare आखिरी भाला से. So do not take any setback as a end to the life and end to the preparation. If you can afford to give more time, go with that again more zeal. See what are your weaknesses, what did you lack, and sit with yourself and do even better.
Right. Now, another one thing what we have seen, the prelims, mains, and the interview stage. Here, what happens? Many students they think that let me first clear the prelims, then I will prepare for the mains. Is it a right approach?
No, I mean, in my opinion, like you should be mains ready before 4 months of prelims, is what my opinion. From both optional and GS point of view, some portion you can leave, like few things, like I had left disaster management, or I had left some portion of internal security that I had kept for that 3 months. But then you should be 90% mains ready before your dedicated prelims preparation. It is an integrated preparation. Interview is something that you can think after you have cleared mains or after mains is over. But prelims and mains should go hand in hand. And last 4 months should be only prelims and not thinking about mains and optional. But before that, it should be an integrated prelims and mains. Be mains almost ready before 4 months of actual prelims.
Now, one more thing is that students, because we as a human being always seek comfort, and if we want to show the light, we have to burn like a sun. But many a times what happens during the beginning phase of the preparation, our energy at high level, so we might prepare for 8 hours, 10 hours. Then gradually what happens after 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, somehow we seek more comfort, we give less time to study, and now that becomes habitual. So how to break that comfort zone and how to stand on the edge so that will continuously give us fuel to basically prepare and crack the exam.
So one, do not start, like when you're starting, do not read for 10-12 hours. It's humanly impossible. You'll burn out, and after 1 month you'll feel like ki habba. So 8 to 10 hours is okay to study, not beyond that. I honestly did not even get 8 hours but every day. I used to study for 5 hours or so because I was a working aspirant. So, ek to do not burn out at initial stages. But second, as I was mentioning earlier, 2-3 months per your momentum should not be low because you have a plan कि ए मास रे ए complete career अच्छी. So you cannot get complacent because same मास target पूर्ण करिबा is important. And another way is कि giving regular tests. So that will keep you on your toes कि ए test में तो भला career अच्छी. This test is my a month दिन से कि ए test में career अच्छी. Then you will not be complacent. And मजरे taking regular breaks is important. For example, I used to reward myself कि आज यदि a week on an average I'm covering 80% of target, then I'll take half day break or 1 day break and do nothing. I'll just absolutely do nothing and mo ichha baja karbi. Give yourself say breaks as well, but breaks only if you have done something good on your preparation. So say punishment and reward reinforcement is also important. Give yourself break, but keep your targets and keep evaluating through tests again and again. That should keep the momentum high, but also it is okay कि every day will not be same. There were days when I would have just not studied or studied for 1 hour. Those days are okay. Simply gotte दिन ठीक होची, second day ठीक होची, third day भी ठीक होची, fourth day you ensure कि you are not repeating that. You can take a day break, second day break, third day you have to get up and study. Otherwise you'll miss out. The competition is extremely difficult.
Yes, so self-discipline is the
Yeah.
one of the very crucial thing to crack it. Yes, please. Any more questions?
Sir, sir, ଆପଣ ବିଟେକ୍ ଟେକ୍ନୋଲୋଜି ବିଟେକ୍ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ବ୍ୟାକଗ୍ରାଉଣ୍ଡ ଥିଲା କିନ୍ତୁ ସୋସିଓଲୋଜି ଆପଣ ଅପସନ୍ ଦେଇଥିଲେ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଆପଣ ୱାର୍କିଂ ପ୍ରୋଫେସନାଲ ଦେଖିଥିଲେ ତ କେମିତି ଟାଇମ୍ ମ୍ୟାନେଜ୍ କରୁଥିଲେ
that's
ମାନେ
a-
ନୂଆ ସବଜେକ୍ଟ ଦେବା ତ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ କେବେ ଲାଗିଛି କି ସେ ପ୍ରିପାରେସନ୍ ଥିଲେ କି ଯଦି ଆପଣ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଜାଣିବା ସବଜେକ୍ଟକୁ ଯଦି ଆପଣ ଚୁଜ୍ କରିଥାନ୍ତେ ତାହେଲେ ମେବି ଆପଣଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଟାଇମ୍ ଅଧିକା ରହିପାରିଥାନ୍ତା?
For sure, computer science was not an optional list, so I was comfortable with computer science, but since it was not in the optional list, I could not take.
Mathematics.
So maths also, I had boiled down to maths versus sociology last year when I was choosing sociology. But maths the syllabus is extensively vast as compared to sociology. Sociology has a shorter syllabus. Since I knew I will be working and preparing, and time nahi, and that's why I took sociology and did not take maths. And for sociology time management, I knew that's why I did not sign up for any course where I had to study for 3 hours video dekhiya padiva, lectures dekhiya padiva. So I took up a past year toppers notes, Neha Bhosle karikri. So I made that as my base notes for sociology, and there were concepts and all that bujhi asu nathla. So then it used to take a bit longer. I used to then see YouTube videos for that. Ki in sociology, if somebody is from sociology, you'll understand there's a chapter called thinkers. Durkheim, Parsons and all, everybody, Parsons especially was extremely difficult to understand. So that I used to see a lot of videos. There are a lot of videos on NPTEL as well. Although I have not seen, but I've seen random videos, khali 5 minute, 10 minutes videos. I've seen things that bujhi asnathla. But I wanted ki in sociology, for example, a lot of people suggest Horlumbus as a book, academic book, which is a wonderful book, but it's a very large, vast book. So I understood that strategically I'll pick up one topper notes and notes extensively, likhaichi, cover karaichi bhalse, and is catering to UPSC. Horlumbus is not catering to UPSC. It's a sociology academic book. It's not for UPSC per se. So that's was smart work. If there's a ready-made content thila COVID instead of GS had used a lot of toppers notes. So ready-made content I had used extensively for both sociology and GS.
Sir, PYQs typically helpful right now. Prelims and mains.
A lot, as in because PYQs is not just solving, but apan ko say zone that when I'm picking, like in my philosophy is always ki I do not have to do on a PhD out of this preparation. Whatever material I'm picking up, I'll have to pick up a mentality mate either exam clear kare primarily and second gyan arjan kare not the other way around ki knowledge gain kari chalchi but I do not have the idea ki gyan ra kari bhi kon. So for that it's important that ki you make PYQs your best friend for both mains and prelims. So good topic put is to just glance through mains or questions kon achi. So and then I used to find ki acha when I'm reading a topic, I'm reading mains perspective, let's say elections. So I know ki ko area re elections per questions padun. So I'm reading any content, or let's say I'm reading for example sociology re good chapter and it's see ki a topic re kon pacharayi. Then say दृष्टिकोण रू पढ़ुतली कि अच्छा exam point of view केमती a content को मु digest करें so that I'll be able to reproduce. And same with prelims. I was after doing some portions I used to do PYQs and all. So tests की होच नहीं. But mains I used to see the questions first and then read that topic. So PYQ is extremely important.
Yes, please.
Sir, sociology by which is specific resource actually. मैंने आपको
Resource? नहीं सोनी पहले.
sociology optional by which is specific resource and आपको
So I can say what I had done. I had followed Neha Bhosle, say all the rank 15th a couple of years back. So Tankara digital notes अच्छी Tankari blog रे free of cost. I had used that as my base material. And ताऊपर I used to do जो मतलब it is inadequate अच्छी. I used to take Nitin Sangwan essential sociology का डेटे वही अच्छी. See I used to pick up material for value addition जो areas रे बुझी असुनथला. I had given 2 test series as well. Say test series gote before prelims, out after prelims for sociology. So say through jahan nuwa jinsa milta, I used to make value addition there. This was my resource mostly, and last bolku for paper 2 especially, because a lot of questions are GS based. So I used to read last gotte month bolku I used to see specific columnist Indian Express re, because the paper 2 re a lot of Indian thinkers jaga me quote kuri that still alive, still ଏବେ ସେମାନେ actively ଲେଖୁଛନ୍ତି Indian Express ରେ, ତ ଖାଲି ତାଙ୍କର ସେ articles ମୁଁ follow କରୁଥିଲି and ତାଙ୍କୁ quote କରୁଥିଲି. So that I had used. This is more or less, and a lot of practice is all for sociology.
Also, can you set the general studies sources which you had followed?
Sure. For prelims point of view, I had followed for history ancient. I had read R.S. Sharma old NCERT book. For medieval, I had taken up a coaching compilation. Did not do a lot of medieval, but did this. From modern history, I had done Spectrum. For polity, I had done Lakshmikant. For environment, there's this book by PMF IAS. Their environment I have done. Geography I had done 11th and 12th NCERTs, and some portion of PMF IAS geography where NCERT I felt was insufficient in those topics, geography. And science and technology, current affairs, I had mostly learned current affairs and few YouTube videos where I used to do basic concepts like compilations. That I had done. And yeah, and then for example in history also there used to be topics like Buddhism, Jainism, Ashoka, the very in-depth questions come. So for them during last time I used to there are a lot of freely available resources on YouTube. I used to just look to those videos in more profound, more in depth. कि Buddhism रो text, their literature भी पढ़ी, Jainism रो बहुत भल से तांकर different schools of Jainism. I used to just look. So that I came to know after analyzing the PAYQs कि अच्छा ये topics उड़ा का ठीक है भल से पढ़े रहे. So apart from the standard books and multiple revision of that, एक गोटा prelims रा is there used to be a lot of coaching compilations and places in news, things like that. So that I studied during last 3-4 months purvara, but otherwise these were my standard resources. And mains of point of view re, I'd say ki, as I said ki I was following a weekly current affairs magazine, and say weekly current affairs magazine I had a predefined notes till GS 1, 2, 3, 4 topic wise, like agriculture, economy, histories, everything GS wise. And say for example a topic would come on renewables, as just make a 1-page note and put that in environment per se. Panchayati Raj note asila, I'll make a note of the 1-pager note banekri say through, I'll put that in GS2. So emidi organically my topic wise mains notes I was doing it till November 2022, and last November December I sat down for the topics जो मतलब लगला कि मोर मेंस नोट्स है ही नहीं जाके. I saw syllabus and saw कि ए टॉपिक मोर है ही नहीं. So for that मुता previous year रा yearly compilations ऐसे current affairs रो, तो तार बसी कि देखिले को टॉपिक्स रा का है ही नहीं, तार निजर नोट्स बनेली. So एमिति वो base notes बनेली for mains, not from one source but multiple sources, but majorly from say weekly current affairs magazine रो, and did a lot of value addition say prelims mains जो 3 months था. A lot of compilations as a compilation topic wise, Supreme Court judgments, data, figures, committee recommendations, examples, case studies. So Seguda I took up a compilation and made a Nijara consolidated notes, value addition from Sethu. So mainly there was no one particular thing. Based on current affairs through, I used to make my own notes and supplement that with value addition. So this and prelims अपन जहाँ पढ़ी चंजो book रे, that will help. Like Lakshmikant से articles, constitutional amendment, constitutional principle I used to quote in mains answer. History से spectrum of facts, figures will help writing mains answer as well. But I used to write mains answer, mains notes, theme wise, topic wise, syllabus ro, my self-made hand notes had prepared.
Now,
ethics specific ethics
ethics, I had studied one book called from D.K. Balaji Gari ki तांको बही आसे, but I read it एमिति not giving much माने भल से न पढ़ी, but I देखिए पे subject कौन अच्छे and all, and then I found out कि ethics is more like how you express it and not like किसी बहुत ही difficult नहीं बुझे पे. So again see D.K. Balaji book side रखी कि जहाँ से तो किसी भल मिलले, plus majorly I used to just Google कि topic wise I used to just mention ethics UPSC, and जहाँ भी 2-3 मिलू थिला first link I used to just को भी coaching रहा था और non coaching रहा था, I used to make 2-pager, 3-pager notes of my own. There's this one topper, two toppers actually. There's one Tanga Telegram channel I used. Jayant Nahata, he was all in a rank 44 some year, and Divyansh Nigam, Jayant Nahata was 56 and Divyansh Nigam all in a rank 44. They had a lot of ready-made content for GS also and ethics also. So Jayant Nahata had this one table, say ethics or sabu values, and their corresponding example, quote, professional example, personal example, bureaucrat example. He had done this ready-made material. He had a ready-made material of quotes ready, a ready-made material of examples. So I picked that up for ethics. So ethics, I made my own notes, and all this Jayant Nahata Angara notes I picked up. And there's one ethics kind of very scoring I understood. So there's one YouTube channel called School of Life. Seithre Western philosophers कर ideas को 2-3 minute रे explain करा जाए. So I had made notes about 20 philosophers का notes. तांगा idea ताकि I can put it up at various places ताकि टिके बेसी भले लगो, because you'll get that brownie point. And topper copies का notes topper copy करा copies देखुଥିଲି मु, and जो तो किसी छोटे भले example भले diagram मिलला ethics रे, I used to just pick that up and I used to write it. तो किसी एमती base material बाकी रू lecture रू पढ़ लेनी. I made my notes and did value addition from topper करा note and from topper copies and School of Life.
Great. Now there is one common thing related to time management. Now you have been working, so you made your time accordingly. But there are many students who are full-time preparing. So what a timetable should be for an aspirant, and how they should prepare for GS and optional? Should they prepare both, or should they complete GS first and then optional? So what would be the right strategy?
So even if you are working or you are doing it full time, I think your preparation should be in 3 slots, and 3 things should go parallelly for most part. Till you have not started your prelims exclusive preparation, ki 3 mas 4 mas purva you do only prelims pai. Ta purva when you do an integrated study, you have 3 slots you study. One for your standard books, which is very prelims heavy. One for your mains, where you do your current affairs and mains or notes baneva, and one for optional. So more idea was like ki a lot of people say ki 5 mas optional sari ki you just get done with this. But I had this thought ki till mane 4 mas purva prelims purva I'll be in touch with sociology. Starting you'll have to put in more hours wherein studying, and after your notes are ready, tapre bas last 2-3 mas I used to just write answers PYQs sociology ro. Taki say minds, because then bahut bada break hi jaye. So I used to do 3 things together, 1 slot for standard book, 1 slot for optional, and 1 slot for weekly current affairs, jo through mains notes 103, which was mains heavy. So prelims, mains and optional, for majority part was integrated. Just 4 mas purva prelims, I did only prelims ko dhyan detli.
Yes, please. Covered. And so I'm really thankful to Animesh sir that he came and spent more than an hour. So make the best use of it, and whatever advice sir has given to you, please follow it. So he has been the example, and he is sitting in this side. We all wish that you also someday crack the exam, be it Odisha Civil Service or maybe the UPSC Civil Service. You also sit at this stage and inspire others. So thank you so much, Animesh.
It was my pleasure. Thank you again for the entire team.